We're going to play a game of musical chairs while we move in a couple of executives from our next featured guest here into the studio. Joining me now is two executives from Singlepoint Incorporated. Their stock symbol is SING. To my far left is Mr. Will Ralston. He's the president of the company. Will, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Don.
And of course, Greg Lambrick, CEO. Greg, always good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Now, I've always said this before, but we always have a good laugh about this. You're in California, so something's going down.
Yeah, it's funny. Funny you mention it again. Yeah, there is. In fact, Will and I got into San Diego and made our way this way. We've, as you know, we've made 2 acquisitions in California in the last 3-4 months, and we went and visited both of them. And boy, they're both doing really well. So we're really excited about these acquisitions. In fact, both of them are doing so well that we're going to be able to show some significant revenue increase in our next financials.
Well, this is something that we've talked about. I think we've been covering your company for 3 or 4 years, and you know the ultimate goal of any small company is to get past the growth stage, get past the acquisition stage, into the revenue stage. Now you're at that point.
Yeah, well, you know, we purposely spent a lot of time and money on building up the public side of the company, knowing that we were going to, our strategy was to acquire companies, and that's exactly what we did, and it's starting to take effect, so we couldn't be happier.
Well, now, Will, the cannabis industry, as we all know, is exploding. Nobody has to say that. And of course, now with California and our neighbor Nevada legalizing recreational cannabis, that opens the door for a tremendous amount of revenue for the dispensaries. But they all had that one problem. They can't use the banks yet because of the cash situation. It becomes dangerous for these companies. You guys have a solution. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're working on a solution using the cryptocurrencies and utilizing the technology of blockchain. So we're very excited to start developing this. And right now we're working on dispensaries being able to accept the coin that we're developing, and really we're going to attack it from the consumer side. Everybody's been trying to solve a dispensary problem. Dispensary is always going to accept cash. They don't really have a issue with doing that. They can always do it. Nobody's really thinking about it from the consumer angle. So if we go in and say, well, let's solve the consumer problem, give them another way to pay, that's what we're going to work on.
So how does it work? Does a consumer's credit or debit card get converted to a cryptic coin, so to speak, that can be used in the dispensary? I mean, can you kind of walk us through that?
Yeah, so essentially what we're working to do is the consumer can purchase the coin, put it on their phone, and then go to the dispensary and pay with it.
Okay.
You know? So they're still going to utilize their credit and debit card. It's not really going to change their experience too much. But essentially, instead of saying, hey, you know, XYZ dispensary, start accepting this, we're going to say, hey, consumer, go ahead and put this currency on your phone and go to the dispensary. So it essentially is like a Starbucks play where you're saying, let's go ahead and make a mobile payments play. The consumers are going to adopt it, which is then going to basically force the dispensaries to start taking it as well.
Now, Greg, of course, you know, the root of this company has been a mobile payments company, so this really falls right in with what you've been doing all along.
Well, that's it. And, you know, of course, with what's happening with, you know, Bitcoin and the cannabis, to combine those 2 things to solve the payment problems of the cannabis and dispensary industry is perfectly aligned with what we've always done and who we are.
Well, the business is definitely going to be there because we saw in the news this week that Nevada has declared almost a state of emergency. The dispensaries are running out of product.
Right.
And you go by these dispensaries in Nevada and some places in California, and it looks like the line for a concert tickets that are being opened up for the very first time, or maybe the new iPhone coming up. People are camping out in front of these things waiting for the places to open, and they're running out of product. So the business is definitely going to be there.
Well, there's no question, and you know, some of the things we're excited about is California opening up, and Florida and other states, and to be able to, you know, really get involved with the you know, Bitcoin currency to solve the banking problem is a huge thing for Singlepoint, and I think that we could be, you know, have first mover there.
Now, going forward, let's assume at some point in time it becomes federally legal. They open up the banks. You've got the Bitcoin process in place. It doesn't really change your business model. It just means that now you're accepting payments and you're still in business.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we you know, we're connected to processors now. We have other businesses that are using our payments, so it's even better.
Almost out of time, but I did want to ask you about this. We haven't talked about it in some time. So much has been going on with the company, but you had mentioned you would be getting up on the QB with the public company sometime this year. Is that still on target?
Yeah, it is. So many things have been happening with the company as far as, we've got a lot of funding in our acquisitions, and we're going to be showing significant revenues. But we've hired a new firm to audit our financials, and OTC Markets has a new program where you can get up on the OTC QB with a couple criterias. You have to be over a penny, and
Right.
you have to have just 1 year of audited financials. So we're in the process of doing that now, and we expect to be on the OTC QB within 45 days.
Oh, that's great. Once again, the company's Singlepoint Incorporated, SING is their stock symbol. Gentlemen, great update. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks.